your money.
Vcare. Win your hair back with Vcare. Pre-cosmetic hair replacement for cancer patients.
Yeah, it's so funny. And we South Indians want Suresh Raina to be back in CSK. So can we get Suresh Raina's name on for the auction, and we can just recreate some? I mean, there must be reasons, a lot of reasons and logistics and technical reasons for choosing a person or not. But in this recreation, can we have Suresh Raina in the auction, and we can we make it as CSK or finally grabbing Suresh Raina? Can we make it and fix it in that way?
Number 55, Suresh Raina. How much, please, for Suresh? Anyone want to bid his base price of 200 lakh? 200 is the opening bid I'm looking for. 200. 200 I'm bid. Thank you. 200 is bid by CSK. To CSK. Then 200. Are you all done at 200? Oh, RCB coming at 220. Thank you. 220. 240 CSK. 240. 260. 280. 300. 300. 320. 340. 340. It's ahead of you now, CSK. You're going to lose. Mr. Raina, you want to go 360? No? Okay, then it's back with RCB. Oh, Punjab Kings, they bid 380. 380, we go on 380. 400, 420, 440, 460. At 460. Still holding with the Punjab Kings at 460 lakh. Are you done? Any more? CSK, are you sure? You're back? 500 is bid by CSK. Thank you. Then the bidding is back with CSK. 500 from Mr. Raina. Your last chance. Any advance of 500? Doesn't seem expensive at 500. Thank you, sir. 525. We go 525. The Gujarat Giants have joined the bidding now. The Titans, rather. And so the Titans, 550 back with CSK. At CSK, then, 550. We're going to sell this time. Are you sure? No more for you, Titans? RCB, you were interested a few minutes ago. Are you sure? No? Then I'm going to sell with CSK. Make no mistake. I'm round the room. Final warning. Last chance. Are you all done? Going. Gone to CSK. 550 lakh. Thank you very much indeed.
When you came back the next day, the final hour, when you came back, it was a real goosebump moments for everyone. How was your feel inside when you came back into the auction room?
Yes, well, I had the goosebumps as well. Hamang, I was under no pressure at all to come back. Hamang said it would be nice if you could, just to take the last 20 players in the accelerated auction. So I thought it's like riding a horse. If you fall off a horse, you've got to get back onto it at some point. So I thought, well, I might as well get back on it now. And I just thought I could slip into the room, sit quietly, and then wait for Sharu to introduce me, and I could just walk up. But I was held in the ante-room. Star TV stage manager sort of said, wait here. Then he counted me in, and it was a fantastic response.
Did anyone mock you or kind of teased you like, hey, what man, you went and collapsed inside of IPL auction? In a funnier side, did anyone mock you or teased you, sir? Your friends or family?
Yeah, of course they did. They said, trust me to do it on live television in front of millions of viewers around the world. So yes, that was they thought it was quite amusing.
And you also used to make a sound kind of like this, a sound kind of this while bidding. Yeah, that actually rises our tempo too.
I kind of mirror what the bidders are doing. I can see them going, shall we go one more? This is expensive. Yes. I'll go, one more for you, perhaps.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I try to keep it sort of light-hearted. Auctions can be quite dry affairs. Yeah. So, I try to keep smiling, showing that I'm having a wonderful time in the, not so much this year, but certainly in the previous 3 that I've taken. Yeah. There have been, sessions where no one's bidding for. I remember we had 8 wicketkeepers a couple of years ago, and no bid. So somehow I've got to pretend everything is going swimmingly well, because it's no one's happy when buyers aren't sold, particularly players aren't sold. So I try to sort of mitigate and negate that happening by giving everyone a fair chance. I said, this is it. Are you done? Are you sure? And I always look back at the underbidder. I don't look at the successful bidder, because he's not going to bid again unless someone bids against him. So if a franchise has been bidding and then stopped, I'll go around the room looking at all the other tables, and then I'll come back to the person who made the penultimate last bid, and I'll say, "Are you still sure you don't want any more?" And then I make sure I keep my head up. Some auctioneers I see go like that and bring their head down, and when you go like that, you wait to see your hand going up. So I keep my head up, looking around. Are you all done? And I know where my hand was going to fall, so I don't need to look at that. So, are you sure? Final warning, last chance, sold to Delhi Capitals or whatever. There's one other. When Sam Curran came up, I think 3 years ago. Again, people began to pointing at the screen behind me. They had a photograph. Although I was selling Sam Curran, they had a photograph of his brother Tom. And,
that's a confusion,
and
right?
they are quite similar. So luckily, Hemang said that's we got the wrong photograph, but you're selling the right player, but the wrong photograph.
Oh,
so that was a.
That's great to hear. Actually, that kind of confusions definitely would happen when we have players like Sam and Tom, right, sir?
It can happen. So we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Who is your most favorite IPL cricketer ever?
I love watching Rishabh Pant. He's a cavalier player, and he hits the ball a very long way. And then you've got the master class player like Kohli. MS Dhoni with his sort of his helicopter shots. It's all sort of entertaining, and some of the bowlers when they get a wicket, how they run around the field celebrating. It's all very entertaining.
Which one bidding is the most memorable bidding throughout your IPL auction career? Which bidding is the one most memorable bidding which is still stuck in your back head?
I mean, I think there are two. The first one, I think, was in my first year when Varun Chakravarti started at 20 lakhs and ended up at, I think, 840. I don't know how well known he was at that stage, but obviously the scouts had spotted some potential for him, and so to go from 20 all the way up to 840, that was very exciting. And then obviously last year with Chris Morris, again starting at a mere 75 lakh and ending up at 1625. That was fun, because it was a record for a player sold at the auction. So those two stick out in my mind.
When did you realize? Where were you when you woke up? Were you in hospital at the time when you woke up?
No, I never went to hospital. I woke up and they must have rolled me over, because looking at the photographs, I'm facing face down, facing the stage. I remember waking up and first thing I saw was the Lucknow Super Giants name tag on their table. So at that stage, I was facing into the room, and the paramedics were fantastic. They got me on my feet and then took me out to a side room, and I really couldn't fault the care and attention that I got. And they gave me a drink, tested my blood pressure, and they said it's pretty low. But I felt fine. I had a sore shoulder. I must have landed on my shoulder. I had a slight sort of graze on my forehead. It was all very strange. But no, there was never any question of me being taken to hospital. Who was going to continue with the auction?
Sir, did this kind of thing happen to you before? This is the first time you're faced.
Totally out of the blue. I mean, I've sold 2,700 auctions over 38 years. And I don't know what it was. Probably the combination of a bit of jet lag, lack of exercise, because I'd been quarantining in my hotel room, not eating regularly enough. I suppose you can compare it to a motor car. If you don't put petrol in a motor car, it will soon conk out and stop. And whether I was just out of gas at that particular moment, and I conked out. But as soon as I got some liquid inside me and some food inside me, I was able to walk back up to my room and felt fine. And I was just very grateful that Charu Sharma was available and able to step in and do a fantastic job in my absence.
What happened exactly on that situation, on that moment? What happened exactly in that moment when Vanindu Hasaranga's bidding was going on? The camera was on RCB's camp. Suddenly they were in shock and the camera panned left. You were on the floors. Your face was facing the ground. We were in shock. What happened exactly?
Well, it's all very strange. I mean, the auction had been going very well. I'd sold the first set very successfully. Got to Mr. Hasaranga, and the bidding was very competitive. Quite slow, very, very slow, but up and up and up went the bidding. And I suddenly began sweating and felt slightly odd. And I thought, well, we'll sell Mr. Hasaranga, then we'll have a quick break and I can have a drink. And the next moment I knew I was flat on my face on the floor, having taken a dive off the stage.
You have a very long career as an auctioneer. As you said, you are doing this thing for around 38 years, which is not an easy job. How different is IPL auction from others?
I mean, it's very different. Normally, I don't know who's going to be bidding. I might have 200 or 300 people in the room, but I have no idea as to what they're there to bid for. But I've got no idea who they're going to be bidding for, how much they're going to be prepared to bid up to. There's no huge incentive for me to push the bidding up because I'm not working on commission. The only people who really benefit are the players. So, because obviously what I sell them for, that is what they earn. So the incentive there is for me to get the bidding as high as possible. But again, you know, when I'm looking at the bidders, they're not really looking at me. They're talking to their colleagues around the table. It's more difficult for them because if they miss out on a certain player that they wanted to buy, then they have to start thinking, well, if we can't get him, who are we going to get and how much are we going to pay and how much of our budget is left? I'm really there as the umpire, really, making sure that the proceedings proceed as smoothly as possible.
Sir, actually, I want to ask you one thing. Will you do some sort of preparation or something to get into the IPL auction, like reading the players' stats or their recent form or something, to get an idea about the player, because you need it, whether you need it or not, while you're doing the auction?
Not to a huge extent, I must admit. I watched the vast majority of the IPL last year. Then I watched the various sort of international T20 competitions going around the world, whether it be sort of the Big Bash or the Caribbean League or whatever. So I have a vague overview of who's doing well, but I don't want to, how to put it, I don't want to sort of get overexcited about a player who's done particularly well, and then I'll be disappointed when no one bids for him. Yeah, I mean, I obviously sort of spend time learning the pronunciations of the players' names, and that's important. So part of my kind of preparation began, the IPL sent me the list of players 10 days before, and there were 600 players this year on the list, and so that was quite a daunting prospect, was going through all their names.
I think at that moment itself, you will be having some sweating and other things and all, right?
There was a bit of sweating going on, yes.
Apart from those things, as an auctioneer, you will be having certain tricks and other things to play while the bidding, right? You can,
I try to
show some tricks. Yeah, you can just show some tricks.
I try to avoid silence. So, you know, I'll say the odd thing here and the odd thing there about, you know, he plays for England or he plays for the West Indies. I'll say, you know, this is the first Afghani player we've had on the auction block today, because it's awkward if there are these long periods of silence. And, you know, the bidding is slower than in most auctions. It's usually quite frenetic. One person bidding per team. It's the 8 of them all discussing, and then shall we go one more? If we go one more, how much further are we going to go?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for performing this. Actually, this is very happy. I'm very happy to see this thing happening in front of me, and I also hope that the audience will also enjoy this thing. And thank you so much for joining me in this conversation. And I'm very thankful for that one event which made you and me to connect to this interview. Take care of your health, sir. We love you a lot. Thanks for joining us, sir. Thank you so much.
Not at all, sir. Well, I hope to see you this time next year in person, back in India.
Sir. Thank you. Yeah, me too, waiting. And I didn't say my name in the start of the interview. So I'm Sohail, sir. My name is Sohail.
Well done, Sohail. Thank you very much. Lovely seeing you. And,
love you seeing you too, sir. Thank you so much.
We'll speak again, no doubt. Thank you.
Oh, definitely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hope you enjoy. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
ஆனந்த அனுபவம் அரோமானே.
Vcare. Win your hair back with Vcare. Pre-cosmetic hair replacement for cancer patients.